Well, hey there, it's Jen.
And Elko, welcome back to part 5 of our 10-part mini-series on what I wish someone would have told me when I started out on Zazzle. And of course, Jen and I, if you don't know yet, we started out on Zazzle in 2008.
We know when we switch over to the 2020s, it's wild to think about that, but 2008, yeah.
Yeah. And since then, we've made a lot of money on the platform. Plus, what's more important is the 5 strategies that I developed that have helped Jen and then helped all of our clients have been like steadfast and true through all of this. But had I had someone like us be there back in the day when we were struggling and we just really had no idea how to make it go like just these simple questions, which are so monumental at the time when you're just starting out. If someone would have just helped us through that, it would have been really awesome. So that's what we're doing here in this 10-part mini-series. I want to make sure that you watch all 10. It's really valuable information. It's going to really give you some ease of like mind and also some really great practical things to take away and implement so that you can get started with your Zazzle journey to success. Okay, part 5 is all about I don't know how to get my listings on Zazzle seen. So as you may have noticed with all of our parts of this 10-part series, they're all very specific questions and or comments of what we've heard the most of our clients and students and audience that we've been speaking to help them with their Zazzle journey to success. And granted, it's not just that these are the things people are asking about. It's actually what really stopped us back in the day too. It's like we were sitting there going like, what else can I do? Like, I just don't know. And we tried everything. And how do I get my listing seen? And so we're going to dive deep into that today.
Mhm.
And make sure you watch all the way to the end. We always have some great information that's going to help you take away some great learnings for this. Okay, so as you may have noticed, we have pain points because when I went like this, that just meant like that. I still remember that as if it was yesterday. Jen and I, for months, in fact, years, struggled because we just could not get our listing seen. Could not get our listing seen. And it's like, oh my gosh, what are we doing wrong? What are we not doing right? Is this worth doing? It just was so overwhelmingly frustrating because obviously if you can't get someone to see your listings, how are you going to get someone to buy? Right? Okay,
And
so I'll let you
to
take
just
in.
say too, really quickly, because when we first started out on Zazzle, we had no experience being a business owner or a seller even online, right? This whole concept of selling products online was completely different to us. And we had to navigate what
Yeah.
actually makes a good sale or what makes a product be seen, right? And transferring and coming from like both Elk and I, we have an artistic background where we would actually go to physical shops or physical like craft fairs. And so people would be able to like pass by our table and look at the things that we offered. And we would have the opportunity to speak to people and sort of convince them to buy our products or convince them to tell us what they cherished or wanted or needed, right? To like have that customer service reaction where you're literally interacting in person. And so then going onto the Zazzle platform, being an online space, we saw the amazing opportunities that print on demand offered to us. But there was that obstacle and hurdle of figuring out, okay, now I have the possibilities of reaching everyone in the entire world, but how can I make my products stand out to them and how can they be searchable to people, right? Because at the end of the day, your product page that you create when you create a listing is a web page. And somehow someone finds that web page, but that's only through searching for that web page, right? So that means that you have to have proper SEO and a whole bunch of other things associated with it so that someone could literally come across it. Because you could have the most beautiful product that you've ever designed, but not have the proper SEO or promotion and no one finds it. And so
Just to stop you there, because some people don't know what SEO is, which is search engine optimization, which just means that you've labeled it with keywords that are what the customer would search for on Google or within the Zazzle marketplace. that would bring that up in a search, right? Okay.
Yeah. And here the pain point, it says that you're relying on Zazzle's marketplace traffic without promoting your products using SEO and also externally. So SEO being your titles and tags and descriptions, and then externally being that you also are then promoting your products on Pinterest or social media, Instagram, which isn't necessary, but it also allows you to increase your customer reach. So if and although Zazzle does a lot of really great internal and external promotion, if you don't title and tag it properly, then your product's kind of just like floating there in cyberspace.
And as this says, you really don't need to, like, sure, Jen and I, we promote on Pinterest. You've heard us say that before, but it's also only on Pinterest in a way that people find it based on SEO, right? With keywords. And same with the Zazzle marketplace. Customer searches there, but they don't have to start there to find your products. Zazzle integrates and feeds all that information to Google because that's, as Jen said, it's a web page, and so therefore each one of your products ultimately gets integrated with the Google search results. And so from images and or listings, and also on Zazzle's effort, ads, Google Sense ads, there's ways that your product will be seen even if the customer's not on the Zazzle marketplace, even if they're not on Pinterest. And they're just basically searching Google. And if that all depends on how you label it. And if you were to do a blog post and you realize, I have to do the blog post and make it have interesting keywords and certain aspects, including alt text, which is the keywords that are going to be associated with the link of that page so that it will be found with searches. You're doing the same thing with each of these products that you're posting for sale, is the keywords with the tags and the title are basically your alt text, right? And so super, super important. Can't stress that enough. And if you do that right, then all the rest is not even that necessary to be good at, because you're basically doing the one and only thing that's the most important, that's going to get you the most results with the least amount of work. And we love that anyway, because we always want to be profitable and passive. And it's very perceivable to do and those are our 3 pillars. But, because it's going to be easy, you just do the job at the beginning when you're posting your product, and then you pin it to Pinterest and you let Zazzle and Google do their work. And then you have your product in 3 different places listed properly. And because you listed it properly, the customer who's using those words that are currently, the thing that you knew you'd have to list it with, those keywords, they're searching for that. They found each other, match, sale, right? I know it sounds easy, but if you do the work, it'll actually feel easy too, because you're not guessing.
Yeah. And this video actually ties in with some other videos that we've recorded on this YouTube channel. So check out the rest of the 10-part series as well, because we do talk about like, who are you serving as your customer and how can you create those products? You ask like, what design should I create? All those things, but it all stems down to figuring out what your niche is and your perfect customer. Because talking about SEO is really great. You can say, okay, well, I'm going to title and tag my product this way, and this way. But if your product is serving a certain type of customer, that type of customer is looking for these certain keywords. And so you really have to hone in on what that person would be searching for. For example, like me, I have a certain style. I like certain colors. I know my certain sense of home decor. It would be completely different than if Elka was searching for something online, looking for the exact same home decor item, but it has a different style or a different theme. And so the way, like if you say, how can I get my listing seen, or I'm struggling with, I don't know how to, it's doing the research of figuring out what your person, the end customer who will potentially buy your product, literally would be putting into Google or into the Zazzle search bar, right? Do they use the words, like if you are, let's say you're selling to golf enthusiasts, right? You have to use a certain golf language and talk about sports and talk about the certain, styles that are associated with the golf club covers or golf balls that Zazzle offers. If you're using language that has no connection to a golf ball or a golf club cover, and all of a sudden, it's something that would be more relatable to a clothing accessory, or a wedding invitation, or a pet lover, etc. Does that make sense for what you're selling? And so the way that you can have the solution being is to do your proper research for titles and tags, use those well, because the reason why your listings aren't being seen, if that's your issue, is because it needs to be updated. You need to tweak it a little bit. And, posting a product for sale on Zazzle, especially if you're a beginner, is it's easy, because you can just click on the product, then design it, and then post it for sale. But the primary research that goes beyond, like before that, is a little bit in-depth and intensive, and we like to call it creating an intentional product, because then you're not just posting a random product for sale hoping for results. You're posting a product for sale that has the background research associated with it, so you know that your potential customer will be searching for these tag words or keywords, and they also are looking for this particular product, for example. Because you can also have, on top of all the things that we've been talking about, you can have a product type and also a design that do not work or match together, but for whatever reason you've decided to put those two together. And maybe, unfortunately, nobody's ever going to be searching for a tote bag with this certain design on it, because it's just not trending or popular, or it's not what people are wanting in the marketplace. And so during that initial research, putting your proper titles and tags, and then if you want to, in addition to, post on Pinterest and or anywhere that your perfect customer would be like hanging out. Imagine they had no idea what Zazzle was, but you know that this person could potentially buy your product because it's something that they're seeking. Then you can go and externally promote your products on those platforms like social media, like Pinterest, and promote to those people who are hanging out in those spaces and guide them towards the Zazzle marketplace. And the reason why we always mention Pinterest is because, like Elka mentioned earlier, it's an SEO generated platform where it's social media technically, but it's also a search engine. And so all of the posts or pins that you put onto the Pinterest platform are floating around there on the internet space. It's not like Facebook or Instagram where, it's instantaneous gratification, or TikTok where it's a viral video. And then if you were to try and find that viral video, like, how would you really search for it later? There's obviously opportunities to do so, but it's not as easy as on Pinterest. And I still personally have pins that I've pinned, in 2010, 2011, and I still get referrals from that, where people are coming from the Pinterest platform, coming to Zazzle. They probably had no idea what Zazzle was, convinced by my product, purchased my product, and then I got a new client from, an additional, way that they would have maybe never landed on the Zazzle platform if they had just been, searching on their own, and I hadn't put that pin on Pinterest.
And I want to just preface that before we end up finishing this off, is a lot of people now, especially since they have the data from Etsy, there's a lot of tools that tell people what the most popular keywords are for listing. But that's still not going to give you, because, for most, I'm going to backtrack for a minute. Getting your listings seen is one thing, but getting your listings to sell for you is the most important thing. So there are a lot of people that are gaming and sort of stuffing keywords, etc., to get more views. But ultimately, if you don't actually deliver on the product, which is the intentional product, it doesn't matter how many times your listings are seen. Yes, I'm sure that some of you are watching this and going I'd really just like to get some views, but those views could be fake views if you end up not having something that actually truly is what you say is going to be there when people click the link. And also, just what's the quality of that link? How does it look when people go there? A lot of our clients, because we've taught them how to really deliver on what's the design, and so that they close the sale with something called conversion, right? So conversion rates on what you would call, let's say, a cold audience, which is that's all just fancy terms for, okay, they don't know who you are, like what Jen said. didn't even know that Zazzle existed, but all of a sudden they liked this design that they saw on Pinterest, and now all of a sudden they go like, Zazzle's here, and oh, I can buy this product. That's a cold audience. So if Jen had 100 people click on that one link on Pinterest, 1%, maybe, if you're lucky, that's a good result, would be a buyer. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's warm traffic, which means they know about Zazzle, but they're just searching on the Zazzle marketplace, you might actually get somewhere between 3 to 5% if you're lucky. Okay. So you have to have 100 views and get 3 to 5 buyers if you're lucky. So those, like, that's really important. So now you're gamifying all this, but if you first of all just do the SEO properly, but not stuff the words and try to like hedge your bets and like something's close to that, so I'll use that word too, etc. If you're just not gamifying it and you just say, I'm serving this client, this is how they're going to look for this, and I'm going to deliver, then all of a sudden, and this happens quite frequently both in our businesses on Zazzle and also with all the clients that we've taught, is they get 10 and 20 and 30 and 40% conversion, which
Mm-hmm.
is unheard of. But because we teach intentional products, then everything else falls into place, because intentional products is not just design. It's not just what product type. It's not just SEO. It's not just XYZ. It's everything combined. And that also gives you like not only really great conversion, it also makes them huge bestsellers. So some of our products, Jen and I both have these in our stores. Some of them happened within a year. Others have happened over time. But some of our products, one URL has provided us with, and we don't forget, we set our royalty at about 10%, but we have products that give us things like $25,000 US in earnings from one URL that was labeled properly, that was incredibly intentional and has a huge conversion rate and keeps on making more sales. Okay, so that's more important than getting your listing seen. So that's your future. That's where you want to get to. And to get there, let's get you started by helping you with getting those basics down, understanding how you can truly label something the right way, how you can make that intentional product that converts better by being part of our Sold Bootcamp. It's a very small price point entry fee. You are going to love it. We're going to be together for 2 weeks from the March 5th to the 19th. And I want you to be in this. I don't want you to miss this. If you are already in our Profit by Design Academy, you do not need to be in this. If you have been in our print on demand starter kit, this might be for you. If you have plans to come into the print on demand, in the Profit by Design Academy, but this is very much for people who are brand new, who are watching this now and going like, this is great advice, Jen and Elka, but how do I implement it? Sold Bootcamp. That's where we're going to show you how to do that. Okay. So the link is in the description below. Make sure you sign up. So many benefits, so many bonuses. The sooner you sign up, you get even more bonuses. So don't delay. Make sure you're signed up way before the 5th, and we'll see you there. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So thank you so much for watching this video, and we will see you in the boot camp. Bye.